people talk too much about how the Metal Gear 1 through 4 are cinema. For me to say that it's not.
Heck, most people will tell you.
Devil Doom!
Most people will tell you that Metal Gear 3 is the best one.
Oh shit, son, it's Devil Doom!
Probably, because the funny thing is, it's the one that's the least Kojima, other than the Cobra unit being a bunch of wizards.
Man, the final battle is you and your quote-unquote mother fighting each other in the middle of a field of fucking dandelions.
Yeah.
And,
I don't know how it gets more Kojima than that.
Oh, you want to make it even more Kojima? In that battlefield, there were 3 white snakes named Solid, Liquid, and Solidus.
Devil Doom! Cool.
Also, Kojima has publisher influence. It's Kojima Studios.
Yeah, the publisher influences himself.
That's a publisher.
What do you mean? What do you mean? Man, you want to talk about publisher influence? Konami technically had influence over that man for 5 fucking titles. They literally put that man in the basement.
Yeah, and he didn't make a walking mailman delivery game in that time.
What you mean? They wanted to keep him in the basement because they told him to keep making Metal Gear. This was the only thing that made them money.
No one bought Zone of the Enders.
It was the only thing that made them money.
Hey, that's well, he didn't do it because Zone of the Enders, that's a mech game, and in that game you're in a literal cockpit as in the pilot seat is in the mech's crotch, except he wanted to go way more with this, where the mech super mode was going to be called erect mode and the cockpit was going to stretch out.
Yeah, it's Suda 51.
Also a pretentious hack.
What?
Man, Suda 51's great.
Have you played Travis Strikes Again? Or as I like to call it, Suda sit-in therapy session.
Oh, man. I saw the scene where your brother betrays you because he watched Thor. That's all I need to know.
You don't know about damn Dark Knight then, do you?
I do not play a game and say, oh man, this guy who wrote this story is just talking down to me. I watched...
No, he's not talking down to you, he's lecturing at you. There's a difference. He's lecturing you about how terrible his ex is.
That's not like...
And his ex is EA in this scenario.
Carson?
But in this case, he's right.
Yeah, I'm like, is
It's
he
EA.
Is he wrong?
Carson went absolutely
Is he
crazy in the
wrong?
Travis Strikes Again Let's Play.
Suda 51 is a crazy wild game to make me laugh because it's a game where the whole point is you're basically playing Denji from Chainsaw Man. And you're like, man, I'm getting late right now.
Like I said, the best way I can describe Travis Strikes Again is you sitting in on a therapy session with Suda51. And I'm sorry, Suda, I didn't buy your game to be your fucking therapist.
You wouldn't stop talking about that in the Let's Play.
Because that is one of the most pretentious things I have ever seen.
I don't think you should.
Oh no, if you knew the context behind all the shit was damn dark at night, it is.
It is. Carson's not wrong. It is. It is his therapy session. Because he's indirectly bitching about his girlfriend, but his girlfriend is
That's literally just how people make stories.
EA.
That's literally just how people make stories.
He literally has Travis beat the shit out of a thinly veiled allegory of the CEO of EA, and I'm sorry, that is like the most cringe ass like internet tier shit I've seen. He literally named the character, or was the same last name as the CEO of EA.
Have I ever told you about Lunatus? That's my response to that. Have I ever told you about Lunatus?
I'm pretty sure.
Or Daniel Mullins?
Neo Devil Doom.
Why does it look like a Rafflesia?
Because you know, if Suda 51 and Hideo Kojima are pretentious, then do you know about Daniel Mullins?
What did he make? I might know
Inscription?
I might know the game.
Hex.
One of those does sound very vaguely familiar, but I can't think of anything like tangible.
Pony Island?
Oh, that guy!
Yeah.
I actually kind of like Pony Island.
Oh my god. No, you gotta stop talking. You can't say that after any of your statements. Like, I literally.
You like what?
Pony Island.
Oh!
That
You can't say you like Pony Island and bitch about Travis Strikes Again.
that's the one where you're basically in a like computer game made by like Satan or
Yes.
something.
Yes.
Yeah, that
That
one.
is it.
Oh yeah, that one.
The computer game that's Pony Island. I thought you said Pony Island.
You know, the guy that quite literally went out into the middle of
Switzerland.
bumfuck nowhere and hit a floppy disk.
You should do that. IRL. For an Easter egg.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
Punch. Shadow.
I don't.
Rise again. God, I love that theme.
I don't like how phallic Devil Doom's neck is there.
They can stop you now. No ghost to bring you down. There's nothing.
Well, I guess
left
Sega
to
does own the
lose.
Dick Demon now.
You win. Oh, hell,
Stop
Shadow.
this reference.
What?
Let's stop this reference.
Lost control. Your future is already decided. We will be one.
Guys, he literally just pulled a Jotaro. That was literally a JoJo reference.
Well, yes, but it's also a reference to Shadow the Hedgehog in general, like the Shadow game.
Yeah, but he didn't Chaos Control in that game, did he?
No, but remember, Black Doom used that toxin that would stop people from moving, and because Shadow was part black alien, he was just immune to it.
Yeah, but he just pulled the Jotaro.
Yes.
I just froze time longer.
Dude.
Technically, I think you can do that in the.
Man, is the author of JoJo pretentious?
No,
If you say no, then you're a liar.
No, Araki is just on a different plane of existence than us.
He's literally just manga Kojima.
No, I enjoy Araki's writing.
Man literally has a bookshelf from the fucking physics books. That's how he comes up with his new powers for stands.
Rocky, no, yeah, you just pull shit out of his ass. Yeah, that makes sense. And you're like, no, it doesn't. You're like, yes, it does.
Man, what do you mean? Nobody, you know, King Crimson is probably the prime example of something nobody understands.
It just works.
But everybody just accepts. Even though I don't understand how people don't understand it. It seems pretty straightforward to me.
Yeah,
The
Well,
problem,
except for the fact that times that you wrote it wrong.
the problem is that despite this, there are two ways to understand it.
That's okay.
And three times
Togashi-
this man does
Nagashi
neither
literally
way.
looked and said, yeah, I'm gonna make King Crimson, but I'll make him have rules.
Like that's the thing about it, is that King Crimson wouldn't be that big of a deal if it wasn't for the fact that the two ways that you could define King Crimson, Araki literally does three things that don't fit either definition. Because, you would think, oh man, he can skip time, and that's why he dodged those bullets. But that doesn't fit either of the ways that you can understand King Crimson. So he does this twice, and it actually makes no sense why he can do this.
Take that, Funk.
No, my wings. My doom wings. No.
Makes it pretty ambiguous as to whether or not Shadow keeps these powers from this experience.
Man, well, the next
Oh.
Sonic game,
You-
he'll just grow light wings.
You say it makes it ambiguous, but the funny thing is, if you actually in between the stages go back and talk to the characters, Omega says that because you have Black Arm's DNA in you, that you could actually maybe grow their weapons, because all of their weapons are biological. So I feel like that is there to set up an out for
Well,
you.
we also, because of this game, have the constant possibility.
We
that
need
can
Shadow
use
with
Black
God
Doom
Arm.
whenever we want.
That the line from Omega is literally a joke about that. He says that the Black Arm technology was biological, so he makes a joke about you turning your gun into a hand,
Also,
or hand into a gun.
Also, again, I know I've said this twice. This scene goes way too hard. This scene should not exist in a Sonic game. Sonic games should not have scenes like this because they make me say things like maybe you could make a good Sonic game with a good story.
What's happening?
Without Black Doom's influence, the time anomaly is beginning to heal. We are returning to our own point in time.
I'll stop Rouge. Use Chaos Control. Stop this moment in time.
Shadow? No. I don't want to be frozen in one place in time. Besides, your friends need your help.
But you don't know what's going to happen.
He,
No, I'll see you again.
I mean, he got the raw end of the deal. They're like fucking resetting, yet Silver gets the ass pulled in the birthday party.
And then you go join the Time Patrol, apparently.
Wait.
You know that you make that joke? Because that's a joke I was going to make about the Sonic movie. That's how they introduce Silver, the timeline shenanigans in the
That's
fourth.
apparently canon in Forces.
Dude. So they basically are just making him Silver, are just making him Trunks at this point.
Yeah.
Yes, no. The thing is that he literally the way he gets into Forces apparently is explained in a comic where he literally is the Time Patrol and the future after Eggman takes over because no one apparently rises up is that it sucks, and so he literally travels back in time, goes and finds Knuckles and says, "Hey, you should start the Resistance."
Mm-hmm.
And Knuckles is like, "Oh, because I'm that good," and he's like, "No, just because you're the only one left. Sonic and Tails are gone."
Mm-hmm.
And they won't listen to me, but they'll listen to you. So you gotta do it.
You have a loud mouth. Don't listen to you.
Now shall the headshot.
Cute Batman scene.
I'll tell you, most of those stages were really solid. The controls are fantastic. It kind of puts Sonic Generations in the dust. Which is impressive because Sonic Generations is already
Tokyo
best
Sky
game-
Tree.
the best boost game by a long shot. If we could just sit down and make a full length game with this level of care, we'd have a damn good Sonic game.
Mm-hmm.
And the next game is going to be Frontiers 2.
Probably.
Frontier 2, baby!
Well, you could make Frontiers 2 good. There's a lot of issues with Frontiers. Frontiers is a game that is like almost done, but just needed just impressively enough more time in the oven. Because, the amount of times that I went flying in just my little bit of playing it, because physics didn't exist, was wild. Or just the way, the fact that the game kind of broke under itself. We made this really ambitious game, but we kind of made the faux pas of making it really repetitive and not really function that well. This game's controls, I would play a game with just these controls forever if we just kept making boost games.
Mm-hmm.
And while I'm okay with more something more Frontiers focused if we want to go that route, because you know it's quote unquote.
Don't worry,
different.
guys. I'm gonna pitch Sega my idea for the next Sonic.
It just kind of puts us in the position where, you know, we made a boost game again after we made a game that, you know, was the most okay game we've released in a while. And you know, you're just kind of like, okay, what's Sonic Team going to next? Are they going to stick with Frontiers 2? Are they going to make another boost
Frontiers
game?
2, baby.
Are they just going to throw us a fucking curveball? Because, you know, it's just never consistent with these guys. I feel like their good streak right now is just like too high. And we should just, it's much easier just to expect them to just drop the ball in the next one and make something okay next, after that.
Yeah, I'm gonna pitch him my next game idea. We're gonna make Amy cool.
Okay, you say make Amy cool, but the final
God, Sonic 4, Sweet 27 is the year of Amy.
You,
The year of Amy, baby.
in Frontiers, because the last DLC of Frontiers had other characters be playable, because they really leaned into the tarot card thing with Amy. She has a skill where she will stand on the hammer and create a ring of tarot cards around her, basically piloting it like a wheel.
Yeah.
And you just fucking bucket. Like, you just zoom everywhere on
Because
that
Amy's thing, she's into tarot cards.
for some fucking reason.
It was totally part of her character, and it comes up all the time.
Okay, again, that's one of those that was there in the manual.
You know what I'm doing.
Yes.
She literally went to Little Planet because her tarot card said she would find love.
I was explaining this.
Yeah, I had to explain this to him when he was asking why Amy was doing a tarot reading in the cutscene. And I explained that was always canon.
She's always been into tarot cards.
Because there was a Japanese culture thing about young girls being into tarot cards.
Not that this came up in most of the games Amy was featured in.
Boo.
I can't believe it.
I'm gonna convince Sega to make a serious Sonic RPG, baby. We'll get back in the RPG field. Gonna have the people saying metaphor. Who?
But what about that Sonic Chronicles?
Now, I will say, I am still a proponent.
Serious.
I would still just love it, absolutely, if we could just make a game with this level of care, but just make it an adventure game. I know that's never going to happen, but God, it would feel so good.
There are always those rumors of the adventure remakes every other year. But now we're at a point where there are rumors of 06 remakes. Because the guy that's the head of Sonic Team has
Could
said...
you imagine if we did something like that and literally had remade an adventure-style game? That should be wild. Because you'd literally have, you know, in 3 games in a row, we made a new a style of Sonic game that, you know, wasn't horribly received. Followed by an expanded re-release of a boost game. And imagine if they sat down and then made an expanded re-release of an adventure-style game. The amount of whiplash that would cause.
The guy that's the head of Sonic Team said he wanted to remake 06.
I know he did.
Yeah.
He only said that because someone else fucking did it, and now he's busy. It's kind of like how I'm just expecting any day now Sony to be like Bloodborne Remaster or Bloodborne Remake, because, you know, it finally runs on PC.
Well, the thing is, was the Project 06, it's just the stages. Did they ever add the hub worlds in? Because, to be fair, it's technically not the full game remade. It's just
Wait,
No one cares about someone literally stun locking me in a "it's no use."
Oh, you're right. It doesn't have the hub world, but it has the stages, which, let's face it, is the important part of the
No
game.
one
Yes.
cares about.
Oh,
getting,
you love the silver balls.
No one cares about getting stun locked in a "it's no use."
It's no use.
Yeah, I don't think it's
Take
the bosses
this.
either.
Hey, if you get stunlocked hard enough, you can leave the boss arena.
Although I will say, other than that boss, most of the bosses were actually reasonably controllable. Surprisingly enough. I'm not sure it's because they're, like, you know, a lot more, you know, isolated from the rest of the game.
It's because
What?
most of them are big motherfuckers.
Functional with an asterisk.
Well, okay. You know, they still suffer from the general jank of the game, but because you're not actually having to deal with level design as much and their like arenas function 90% of the time.
Yes.
Outside of Silver, the exception, most of the bosses play like they feel like they should. Now some of them are just not fun, like that fucking like Iblis 2 or whatever.
The Iblis Worm.
Yeah.
Yeah, that boss sucks. But you know, other than him and Silver, I mean, the rest of the bosses are actually decent.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Mephiles is just, you know, straight up a good boss.
And isn't it convenient? Mephiles was the one picked for this.
That was a good boss. I'm not gonna lie. Honestly, the bosses in this were all.
Special thanks, NASA.
What the fuck? Why?
The bosses in this were great, except for Metal Overlord.
They went to space, Carson.
What the fuck? No, seriously.
Yeah, who do you think provided the rocket? Duh.
It's time for the question of the day and my overall thoughts on the topic. So, anyway, what is your overall opinion on Shadow Generations? I thought I would ask because a lot of people thought Shadow Generations was amazing, especially since it's basically a random side mode that they added to Sonic Generations for basically no reason. But it's incredibly high effort for what it's worth. The story was good, the gameplay was good, and overall everything was fine. Even if the Switch version is 30 FPS, I think it's a stable 30, and again, I think that's personally okay. Everyone was praising Shadow Generations, and even though I haven't played it yet, I do understand why. So, overall, the positive press around Shadow Generations is quite good. And this is why I thought I would ask what everyone thought of it. This question and this topic I thought were a really good question and topic to basically use as a point of discussion, but I'm starting to ramble. So, anyway, you can leave your thoughts, opinions, and answers in the comments. Or you can leave them on social media. All of my social media links, as well as my Discord links, are in the video description. Now, as always, I need to be a shill for a minute. If you subscribe to the channel, and if you follow me on social media, that really helps our communities grow. But anyway, I hope you all enjoyed the video, and I hope I will see you all next time. So, as always, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night, everybody. I hope you come back someday. See you later.